Hello, shiny Pitch Wars hopefuls. Before we get into what is going on behind the scenes in the Team Claws inbox, I wanted to ask you guys a favor. I am going to be continuing on this YouTube channel, and I'm trying to think about content. I'm wondering what is it that people would be interested in seeing or watching. I wanted to ask you guys if you have any questions. Do you have any questions for a soon-to-be published author? My book, Court of Miracles, comes out in fall of 2018, so next year. Do you have any writing questions related to craft? Here are some of the topics that I initially thought that I could talk about, but I'm really keen for feedback. So I was going to talk about writing craft, publishing, marketing and career, keep some sort of like author diary, for instance, where the first edit letter comes in, how covers happen, and sort of what it's like for a newbie to be navigating everything that comes after signing with an agent and after getting a book deal. And then a whole bunch of bookish things, so the kind of books that I love to read, reviews, fun things that are generally around the things that my books are about. So I'd probably be looking more into classics. I'm not afraid to answer the hard questions, guys, and I have a lot of strong opinions on many things, and I've done a ton of research. So if you guys have any questions, please can you leave them in the comments or hit me up on Twitter. I am looking to make content. I have a whole Excel table full of different topics. So super looking forward to hearing your thoughts and answering any of your burning questions. Yes. Now to get into what is in the Team Claws inbox. As you can imagine, we're not allowed to say, but we can leave some gentle hints. Tomi and I are first-year mentors. It's the first time we're doing this, and there might be a couple of mentors who are saying that because they've mentored in previous years, they're not going to be requesting as much this year. But if you submit it to us, we're going to be requesting loads of things. And please don't worry if you haven't received a request yet. Team Claws' requests are going to be staggered out because I just got my edit letter. I have so much work to do. Mild author panic. And Tomi always has edits and things and stuff going on because she's like a very busy lady. So that we don't go completely crazy, we've staggered out our reading. Another thing to note, not just for people who submitted to Team Claws, is that if you have only received one request from a mentor for a full or anything of the sort, you need to know that behind the scenes, the mentors are all talking all the time about all of the things, and they are passing submissions back and forth. So if I requested something and someone else sees my name, because the mentors see who else you submitted to as well, the names are listed, they can say, oh, Kit, did you ask for the full? And I'm like, yes, I have it, do you want it? And they're like, yes, send it to me by the emails. And they never actually have to ask you in the first place. I'm always afraid of saying anything about what's in the inbox because I know everyone overanalyzes and reads too much into stuff. So I just want to preface this by saying that this is not a negative thing. In fact, out of the list of things that I want to request, I think 4 books start exactly like this. But a lot of people have been saying, what are you seeing in the inbox? What are you seeing in the inbox? And the one thing we're seeing a lot of is books that start in a marketplace, like all the marketplaces all the time. No panic, breathe easy. As I've said, I have requested books that have started that way, more than 3, I think, 2, 3. So the reason I'm bringing it up is that if you guys are looking, when you start getting into your revisions, if you're looking and wondering, is there anything that might not turn off an agent, but make them just sort of be like, oh, I've seen this 100 times before, perhaps don't start the scene in a market. That's just a gentle suggestion. Out of all the market scenes I've read, there isn't one that was like a bad market scene. It's just that they were all in the market, all of them, all the time. How many submissions did Team Claws get this year? It is a number with 3 digits, and there is the number 2 somewhere in those 3 digits. I don't actually know if we're officially allowed to say, and I don't want to be all like, we got this many, because then other people might feel bad. I don't know. People who are applying might be like, my chances are so little because I've calculated them using maths. That was me last year, basically. There is one thing that I can talk about that some of the most exciting submissions have come with, and that is a high concept pitch. I'll have to do a whole video about what a high concept pitch is. I spent ages on Twitter explaining it the other day, so I have to go dig it out in my history. But there have been some premises where literally the first line of the query, that was it. We were like, this sounds amazing. And there are some submissions that were not sent to us, upsettingly, just saying, that had amazing high concept pitches as well. So Another hint and tip for when you guys are looking back over your work to see what you can do to improve your query, or if you're looking at a next project, what are you going to do next? The high concept pitch is king. And lastly, I want to talk about waiting. Waiting is so difficult. I don't even remember how I waited last year when I was applying to be a mentee. I went crazy. Everyone was like, you should write a new book. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. Actually, impossible. I think I just was on Twitter every day reading the feeds and went quietly crazy for a week and a half. I think I read, I don't know, I can't remember. But waiting is, once again, training in this microcosm of the publishing industry that Pitch Wars is. Because you will be waiting when you query agents. Most likely 99% of the time, sometimes a long time. I think I had a friend who waited like 9 months, and I've heard of people who've like waited longer than that. You'll be waiting when your agent reads to give you revisions. You'll be waiting when you go on submission, which can also take a long time. You will be waiting when you get signed with a publishing house and they're only publishing you in 2 years, and so they have like more than a year before they actually have to give you an edit letter. I know for a fact, because I have a lot of friends that have been published in the same year as me, that there have been some people who have had extremely long waits. So learning to deal with waiting when you're hopeful for something in your publishing career is part of the industry. And all I can do is really encourage you guys to try and get into a new project, even though I wasn't able to do that. I am able to do it now. Read, distract yourselves, do something, and hang in there, guys. I think that about wraps it up. If you guys have any questions, please drop a comment or at me on Twitter so that I can add it to my little file. If you have any Pitch Wars related questions, feel free to shout out. I am available at all times to answer everything that you want. Guys, may the odds be ever in your favor.